Welcome to the AGPIAL Audiobook AWS Security at Scale. Logging in AWS How AWS CloudTrail can help you achieve compliance by logging API calls and changes to resources. AGPIAL, a good person is always learning. Please like and subscribe. Abstract. The logging and monitoring of API calls are key components in security and operational best practices, as well as requirements for industry and regulatory compliance. AWS CloudTrail is a web service that records API calls to supported AWS services in your AWS account and delivers a log file to your Amazon Simple Storage Service, Amazon S3, bucket. AWS CloudTrail alleviates common challenges experienced in an on-premise environment, and in addition to making it easier for you to demonstrate compliance with policies or regulatory standards, the service makes it easier for you to enhance your security and operational processes. This paper provides an overview of common compliance requirements related to logging and details how AWS CloudTrail features can help satisfy these requirements. There is no additional charge for AWS CloudTrail, aside from standard charges for S3 for log storage and SNS usage for optional notification. Introduction. Amazon Web Services, AWS, provides a wide variety of on-demand IT resources and services that you can launch and manage with pay-as-you-go pricing. Recording the AWS API calls and associated changes in resource configuration is a critical component of IT governance, security, and compliance. AWS CloudTrail provides a simple solution to record AWS API calls and resource changes that helps alleviate the burden of on-premises infrastructure and storage challenges by helping you to build enhanced preventative and detective security controls for your AWS environment. On-premises logging solutions require installing agents, setting up configuration files and centralized log servers, and building and maintaining expensive, highly durable data stores to store the data. AWS CloudTrail eliminates this burdensome infrastructure setup and allows you to turn on logging in as little as 2 clicks and get increased visibility into all API calls in your AWS account. CloudTrail continuously captures API calls from multiple servers into a highly available processing pipeline. To turn on CloudTrail, you simply sign in to the AWS Management Console, navigate to the CloudTrail console, and click to enable logging. Learn more about services and regions available for use with AWS CloudTrail on the AWS CloudTrail website. This paper was developed by taking an inventory of logging requirements across common compliance frameworks, for example, ISO 27001-2005, PCI DSS v2.0, FedRAMP, etc., and combining those into generalized controls and logging domains. You may leverage this paper for a variety of use cases such as security and operational best practices, compliance with internal policies, industry standards, legal regulations, and more. The paper is written generically to allow anyone to understand how AWS CloudTrail can enhance your existing logging and monitoring activities. Control access to log files. To maintain the integrity of your log data, it is important to carefully manage access around the generation and storage your log files. The ability to view or modify your log data should be restricted to authorized users. A common log-related challenge for on-premise environments is the ability to demonstrate to regulators that access to log data is restricted to authorized users. This control can be time-consuming and complicated to demonstrate effectively because most on-premise environments do not have a single logging solution or consistent logging security across all systems. With AWS CloudTrail, access to Amazon S3 log files is centrally controlled in AWS, which allows you to easily control access to your log files and help demonstrate the integrity and confidentiality of your log data. Obtain alerts on log file creation and misconfiguration. Near real-time alerts to misconfigurations of logs detailing API calls or resource changes is critically important to effective IT governance and adherence to internal and external compliance requirements. Even from an operational perspective, it is imperative that logging is configured properly to give you the ability to oversee the activities of your users and resources. However, variability and breadth of logging infrastructure in on-premise environments has made it overwhelming to actively monitor and alert you when there are misconfigurations or changes to your logging configuration. Once you enable AWS CloudTrail for your account, the service will deliver log files to your S3 bucket. Optionally, CloudTrail will publish notifications for log file deliveries to an SNS topic so that you can take action upon delivery. These alerts include the Amazon S3 bucket log file address to allow you to quickly access object metadata about the event from the source log files. Moreover, your AWS Management Console will alert you if your log files are misconfigured and therefore logging is no longer taking place. Manage changes to AWS resources and log files. Understanding the changes made to your resources is a critical component of IT governance and security. Moreover, preventing changes and unauthorized access to this log data directly impacts the integrity of your change management processes and your ability to comply with internal, industry and regulatory requirements around change management. A major challenge faced in on-premise environments is the ability to log resource changes or changes to logs because there are only finite resources at your disposal to monitor what feels like an infinite amount of data. AWS CloudTrail allows you to track the changes that were made to an AWS resource, including creation, modification and deletion. Additionally, by reviewing the log history of API calls, AWS CloudTrail helps you investigate an event to determine if unauthorized or unexpected changes occurred by reviewing who initiated them, when they occurred, and where they originated. Optionally, CloudTrail will publish notifications to an SNS topic so that you can take action upon delivery of the new log file to your Amazon S3 bucket. Storage of log files. Industry standards and legal regulations may require that log files be stored for varying periods of time. For example, PCI DSS requires logs be stored for 1 year, HIPAA requires that records be retained for at least 6 years, and other requirements mandate longer or variable storage periods depending on the data being logged. As such, managing the requirements for log file storage for different data on different systems can be an administrative and technological burden. Moreover, storing and archiving large volumes of log data in a persistent and secure way can be a challenge for many organizations. AWS CloudTrail is designed to seamlessly integrate with Amazon S3 and Amazon Glacier, allowing customization of S3 buckets and lifecycle rules to suit your storage needs. AWS CloudTrail provides you an indefinite expiration period on your logs, so you can customize the period of time you store your logs to meet your regulators' requirements. Generate customized reporting of log data. From an operational and security perspective, API call logging provides the data and context required to analyze user behavior and understand certain events. API calls and IT resource change logs can also be used to demonstrate that only authorized users have performed certain tasks in your environment in alignment with compliance requirements. However, given the volume and variability associated with logs from different systems, it can be challenging in an on-premise environment to gain a clear understanding of the activities users have performed and the changes made to your IT resources. AWS CloudTrail produces data you can use to detect abnormal behavior, retrieve event activities associated with specific objects, or provide a simple audit trail for your account. You can evolve your current logging analytics by using the 25+ different fields in the event data that AWS CloudTrail provides to build queries and create customized reports focused on internal investigations, external compliance, etc. AWS CloudTrail enables you to monitor API calls for specific known undesired behaviors and raise alarms using your log management or security incident and event management (SIEM) solutions. The enriched data provided by AWS CloudTrail can accelerate your investigation time and decrease your incident response time. Additionally, data provided by AWS CloudTrail may enable you to perform a deeper security analysis on API calls to identify suspicious behavior and latent patterns that don't trigger immediate alarms but which may represent a security issue. Finally, AWS CloudTrail works with an extensive range of partners with ready-to-run solutions for security, analytics, and alerting. Learn more about our partner solutions on the AWS CloudTrail website. Conclusion: you can run nearly anything on AWS that you would run on on-premise: websites, applications, databases, mobile apps, email campaigns, distributed data analysis, media storage, and private networks. The services AWS provides are designed to work together so that you can build complete solutions. AWS CloudTrail provides a simple solution to log user activity that helps alleviate the burden of running a complex logging system. Another benefit of migrating workloads to AWS is the ability to achieve a higher level of security, at scale, by utilizing the many governance-enabling features offered. For the same reasons that delivering infrastructure in the cloud has benefits over on-premise delivery, cloud-based governance offers a lower cost of entry, easier operations and improved agility by providing more visibility, security control, and central automation. AWS CloudTrail is one of the services you can use to achieve a high level of governance of your IT resources using AWS. Thank you for listening to this AGPIAL audiobook production. Please like and subscribe. Also check out our other content. Thank you.